You're listening to The Lyndia Grant Show. Think on these things with Lyndia Grant.
Well, good evening, Radio 1 listeners. Happy New Year to you. Today is January 2nd, Friday, January 2nd, the first Friday in 2026. And I hope you all had a joyous holiday season. We are back. We're going to be starting our podcast this year. But our guest is here, Dr. Julianne Malvo. You haven't heard from her in a couple of weeks. And in our second half, we're going to be talking to a longtime co-worker and friend of mine from the Congo, Maurice Carney. He's going to shed some light on what the United States is doing over in the Congo or making plans to do. Now let's go to Dr. Julianne. How are you today, Dr. J?
Well, Happy New Year, Lyndia. It's still new.
Yes.
I'm doing well. I'm very happy that it's another year. We only have 11 months until people are able to vote to hopefully turn this Congress over. There's a lot of machinations going on, as you probably know. I interviewed Rodney Ellis, who is the one of the Harris County commissioners. Harris County is Houston, Texas, really,
Mm-hmm.
and he is first best thing he said, Jasmine Crockett can win this thing. He said, people are wondering, can she win? Because Texas is so, so deep red that it's going to be challenging to pull off. But he says, oh no, it's not going to be that much. If people turn out and those outside Texas contribute to her campaign, he says he believes she could pull it off. Now,
I,
Rodney has he's been a state senator, he
mm,
was on the city council, and now he's a county commissioner. And he knows Texas better than most. So I'm excited that she has a real possibility of winning that Senate seat.
mm-hmm.
Won't it be lovely? It will be lovely if she can pull it off.
Yes, it is.
Meanwhile, of course, she's vacating her seat, and among those running to replace her is Freddie Haynes. We all know Reverend Freddie Haynes, who for a little while, less than a year, but impactfully served as a president and CEO of Rainbow with Reverend Jackson, as Reverend Jackson was looking to replace himself. But Freddie has had his church in Dallas, Fort Worth forever. So he has a very strong base. So we'll see what happens in Texas, but it obviously is very impactful.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Meanwhile, of course, it's a holiday season, and we don't know what kind of news we're going to get. The holiday season doesn't stop certain people from dealing their devilment. One of the things that I'm just looking year in review, you have the Social Security Administration. Lyndia, this is impactful for you and I, people of a certain age. We expect our Social Security checks, but basically, there are fewer workers. 74 million people receive Social Security. But thanks to Elon Musk and Doge, they laid so many people off, they've got a service backlog. They've got 93 million callers this year as of September, which was a 6-year high. And the number of people calling to get their business straight, to get their checks. One of the things that happened, Elon Musk said there was so much fraud. So now many things must be done in person. Before you could do a lot on the telephone, you could do it on
Mm-hmm.
the internet, but now they're saying it must be done in person. So people are being affected by the imperfect service that people are getting from Social Security. And I know anybody who is in on Social Security can um, co-sign that because it's been a national challenge
Mm-hmm.
and scandal. In addition, in economic news, the Consumer Finance Protection Board, that's the organization that makes sure we don't get ripped off, um, they've attempted to defund it. They said they ran out of money and so they weren't going to pay. Um, but a judge said no, they can't do that. So for now, the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau is alive and well, but who knows how long that happens with this president. Now, Somalia and Somalians are in the news, and it's something worth paying attention to. This country of Somalia, there's a part of Somalia called Somaliland. It's the northern part of Somalia. And let's see, in that part of Somalia declared Somaliland declared independence against Somalia. They said they were it, but no country has recognized them. Now, Israel has recognized them, and many believe that Netanyahu is dancing to the Orange Man's tune, and so it's going to be challenging. We are expecting protests. We're expecting all kinds of things behind what happens with Somaliland. And it's impactful to note that where Somaliland is located is a mineral-rich area that Mr. Trump has designs on,
Mm-hmm.
just like he has designs on Greenland.
Yes.
So he has designs on this area. And so it's just worth noting as we enter this new year, we're remembering the candidate who said he was not going to start any wars, that he was going to make peace with everybody. This is not a peaceful move. It's a
Mm-hmm.
very dangerous move, and it's likely to impact people all over the world. Now, meanwhile, we'll talk about Somalians, Somali Americans who live primarily in Minnesota. Um, you know, that president has called Somali Americans garbage. He has said he doesn't want them in this country. He met with the president of Somalia um, on Tuesday. He met with the president on Tuesday, and the president is Hassan Sheikh Mahamud, and he's been president since 2002. Um, so the Israel declaration that they would recognize Somaliland was so challenging that the United Nations called an emergency session to talk about why is this happening, whether they approve it or not. The challenge with, of course, with this whole thing is that Somalia has been somewhat unsteady. It has not been a stable country, but the African Union should be the one to recognize or not.
Mm-hmm.
Without the African Union's participation, this is just a white folks telling other folks what they can and cannot do. And that is not a good thing. And we don't really accept that. But this happens time and time and time again. Now, but that man has no respect for, as you know, African countries, none for, certainly none for Somalia either. Calling people garbage is out of line. He also told a poor joke, I guess he thought it was a joke, and asked the president when he met with him to take Ilhan Omar back. She is of Somali descent.
Mm.
Excuse me? But
Wow.
yeah, he did that, but that's who he is. Now in Minnesota, which Minnesota has the largest population of Somali Americans. How did they get there? The U.S. put them there. We did as part of it was part of our policy when Somalia was destabilized to bring Somali Americans here. These are hardworking people. Many of them are entrepreneurs. Many of them are home health workers or other health workers, physicians, etc. And these are not people who should be denigrated and talked down to. But of course, Mr. Trump, yeah, as you know, he talks down to everybody. Um, so one of the things that connecting East Africa, Somalia to Minnesota, it's like Black people are always asked to carry the weight of broken systems.
Mm-hmm.
You know, well, power just escapes accountability. That's by design.
Yeah.
That is totally by design. It's not an accident. It's not anything else. And some of the things that have been said have been out of order. Now, there has been fraud in Minnesota with COVID funds, just like every place else. Let me repeat that, just like every place else. They
Mm-hmm.
did have a horrible scandal that involved hundreds of millions of dollars. Um, one of the people, the person who was number two at this feeding program was Somalian. She was number two. She was not number one. But this Trump and his friends have taken this and turned it into this is a Somalian issue. Somalians have started fraud. Um, I mean, how many presidents have been convicted of how many felonies? And we don't say that presidents of the United States are felons. We take each president one by one.
Mm-hmm.
But here you want to look at Minnesota and say, oh, Somalians are crooked, they're fraudulent, they're stealing money, which is just not the case. And there is this case, and there are a couple of other cases that are being adjudicated. But I think when everything is said and done, what we'll find about the COVID funds is they were sloppily and hastily distributed. And Minnesota, like many other states, you don't just give the money to the people, you give it to an agency who then gives it to the people. And so that's what's happened there. All I want to say to make clear is that this is a case of racialized accountability. In other words, we're saying that fraud happened, individuals were prosecuted, oversight failed, and these are Somalian people. The entire Black immigrant community is being blamed for something that happened in rare cases. And we should not accept that as real. So some Republicans are calling for Governor Tim Walz, who, as you know, was Kamala Harris's running mate. They're calling for his resignation because they said that happened while he was governor. He's not resigning. He's made it clear he's not resigning. They do need to clean the mess up, and they have cleaned it up in large part. But it's ironic that Somalia is in the news two ways, both internationally and domestically. And I wonder how many other, it is easy for people to then point to Somalians and say, see, something is wrong with them. No, something is wrong with the structure. That's the challenge. Is something is wrong with the structure. Tell me how much time I have.
1 minute.
I have 1 minute. Well, in this last minute, I want to just shout out, we just finished celebrating Kwanzaa. I want to shout out Kwanzaa yesterday rather, New Year's Day is Imani faith, is an important day in the lexicon of Kwanzaa. And so, folks, if you did not think about Kwanzaa, just take a minute and think about it. It's one of the highlights for me of the year, founded in 1966 by Dr. Maulana Karenga. Is now celebrated in, I can't tell you, more than 50 countries around the world. Wonderful. Celebrated on the African continent, in Europe, and in other places, because it really does pull us all together. So that's it for me this week, Lyndia. There's a lot more, but folks, read your papers and subscribe to my newsletter. Yeah. malvonewsletter@gmail.com. malvonewsletter@gmail.com. Check it out.
And I love your new photograph. Thank you, Dr. J.
Thank you. Take good care.
All right. Bye.
Bye.
If it wasn't for my care coach at AmeriHealth, I probably wouldn't be so healthy right now. As a man, we don't get checkups or see a doctor regularly anyways. It's probably just a man thing because none of my partners go either. We know we should, but we just don't, and hope it works out.
So what changed for you?
AmeriHealth assigned me a care coach, somebody that gives one-on-one help, answer questions, explain things, and help set my appointments. She also helped me understand what having high blood pressure really means and ways to manage it so it doesn't kill me. It ain't nothing to play with. If you're a member of AmeriHealth, ask for a care coach. I'm glad I got mine.
At AmeriHealth, if you need a care coach, you can have one. Just call us at 1-877-759-6224 to get connected. 1-877-759-6224. This program is funded in part by the government of the District of Columbia Department of Healthcare Finance. Mayor Muriel Bowser.
Washington Informer religion columnist Lyndia Grant.
Who Moved My Cheese is a book about two types of people, those who accept change quickly and move on, and those who hem and haw and try to figure things out. They didn't see change coming and waste valuable time trying to figure out what happened. How did this happen to me? Let's call this group procrastinators. The lesson inside the cheese story is simple. Life is change. Brother said it best when he said, if I accept you as you are, I will make you worse. However, if I treat you as though you are what you're capable of becoming, I help you become that. We must change and keep moving. The Bible tells us to seek and you shall find, knock and the door will be open unto you, ask and it shall be given.
Read more in the religion column of the Washington Informer, an award-winning African-American newspaper. We don't report crime or gossip, just positive news. Pick up the Washington Informer or visit us online at washingtoninformer.com. Call 202-561-4100 for more information.
This is Frank Smith with the African American Civil War Museum in Washington, D.C., located at 1925 Vermont Avenue Northwest on the Green Line. Did you know that a recent study found that children who visit museums do better in school and in life than children who do not? So parents, teachers, and preachers, let's get moving. I promise you, if you bring your children to the African American Civil War Museum, they will be inspired by the images that they see. They will be impressed by our living history reenactors who are always available, and they will be involved in our scavenger hunt that takes them throughout our exhibit. That's the African American Civil War Museum, 1925 Vermont Avenue. Our hours are 10 to 6:30 on weekdays, 12 to 4 on Saturdays and Sundays. See it. Be inspired.
Well, good evening, Radio 1 listeners. I'd like to say Happy New Year to all of you. Today is Friday, January 2nd, 2026. We are off to a brand new year, and so I am bringing you a brand new show. We're not having a rerun like we did during the holidays. My guest today, second guest, our first guest is going to be Dr. Julianne Malvo. She's going to bring us up to date after being off a couple of weeks. But now, for our second half, we're going to have Maurice Carney. He is the co-founder and executive director of Friends of the Congo. That is a Washington, D.C.-based advocacy organization. They're working to support the Congolese people for peace and justice in the Democratic Republic of Congo. They call it the DRC. But I want you all to know that I personally known Maurice for at least 20 years. He is also a tech person. He does websites, and he kept us going at the African American Civil War Memorial when Frank Smith first hired me when he was a council member back in 1991. And Maurice is a sweetheart. We stayed together. Every time we would put on a big program for Councilman Smith, I'd have to call Maurice and say, this is what we need to do to the website, and this is what we have to do. And we would work together until we got everything in sync. So Maurice is so good. I saw Maurice on Santita Jackson's show talking about this subject. And I said, let me call my friend. I have to get him over here to help me. So Maurice, welcome to the show today.
Yeah, it's a pleasure. It's a pleasure. Good to be reconnected with you, Lyndia.
Yes, it is.
Yes.
I want to let the people know we're going to be talking about a little bit of what's going on in the Congo.
Mm-hmm.
First question, Maurice, is because we only have about 10 minutes.
Sure.
And just so you know, listeners, I'm going to have Maurice again a little later this month on my podcast, which is going to be maybe an hour and a half. But today is a teaser. The first question is, why is the Trump administration so interested in the Congo?
Yes. Well, Trump said it himself, he's going to go there to get rich. It's arguably the richest country in the world in terms of natural resources. It has everything. It has gold, diamonds, copper, tin, uranium, you name it. But most importantly, it's filled with strategic minerals that are key for the U.S. military and for U.S. Commercial sector. And the United States is in a mad scramble to secure its supply chain of critical minerals. And Congo is a prime target for accessing those minerals. And the president of the Congo, Felix Tshisekedi, had reached out to Donald Trump and said that, hey, I saw you were talking to Zelensky, and Zelensky was balking about giving you access to his minerals. Well, you can come to the Congo. If you come and help us here with the conflict that's ongoing, we'll give you access to the minerals. So that's how that started, got going at the start of this year. And right now, the Trump administration has signed an agreement, a bilateral agreement with the Congo. The International Finance Development Corporation of the U.S. has put out a letter of intent for $2 billion to get started in investing in Congo. And then you have the likes of Bill Gates and Jeff Bezos and Michael Bloomberg. They've raised $1 billion to invest in lithium deposits in the Congo. So it's a spectacularly wealthy country. The unfortunate thing is with all that wealth, though, India, the people are living in extreme poverty.
I was going to ask that question. Is any of it going to benefit the people?
Very little, if at all. That's the big problem with it, because it's usually the elites, the local elites there in Africa, They connect with the global elites here in Washington, in Paris, London, Brussels, and the money goes, among them. And the 110 million Congolese, 70 million of whom live on less than $2.15 a day, don't stand to benefit. So that's why one of the things that we're doing is organizing to engage members of Congress and policymakers and bring Congolese here to the United States so they can speak to decision makers here to let them know, hey, we're being excluded and we need to have a say in what's going to happen with the riches that are right beneath our feet because our leaders are selling us out.
Mm-hmm.
So that's part of the effort on part of the Congolese people to try and be included in all of this wheeling and dealing that's going on.
And before we finish, I want to see if it's something you can ask people to do to help you. Next question,
Yes.
Maurice. There are two Congos. Which one
Yes.
are we talking about?
Well, the two Congos, there's the Republic of Congo, what they call Congo Brazzaville. It's a smaller Congo. And then there's a Democratic Republic of Congo. They call it Congo Kinshasa. That's the Congo where people in the audience may be familiar. Congo's first democratically elected prime minister, Patrice Lumumba, took power there in 1960. Unfortunately, he was overthrown by the U.S. government, and U.S. government installed a dictatorship on the Congo for a good 3 decades.
So
And
is there a lot of financial minerals in both?
yeah, there is. The smaller Congo has more oil. They're more known for their oil.
Mm-hmm.
The bigger Congo, they're both a part of the Congo Basin, which is huge because when we talk about the climate crisis, the Congo Basin is critical for combating the climate crisis. So they're both a part of the Congo Basin. But the smaller Congo, Congo Brazzaville, which was colonized by the French, is known for its oil. The Democratic Republic of Congo, the larger Congo, is an exceptional case because it wasn't first colonized. It was the personal property of a Belgian king for 23 years. And because of that, he ruled it for 23 years, where they took rubber out. They needed rubber to power the auto industry. And because of the atrocities that were being committed there, we had black folks. We talked earlier, Lyndia, black folks who from here went to the Congo to combat the king. One of the best known figures that left here to go to the Congo is George Washington Williams. And those of you who are familiar with Civil
With the
War,
with the Civil War. Mm-hmm.
yeah, he was a Civil War hero, elected official in Ohio, went to Howard University. He went to the Congo and he said in 1890, he said, what's going on here is like crimes against humanity. So we've had black folks who've been engaged in the Congo for a very, very long time. You had George Washington Williams, Lucy Gant, and William Shepherd, who were Presbyterian missionaries. They were involved in the Congo in resisting the king's control and brutality over the Congo, and also Booker T. Washington. Booker T. Washington was also involved. He wrote a piece called Cruelty in the Congo, where he talked about how the king was devastating the Congolese people, where he wound up killing about 10 million Congolese people in a 23-year period to get rubber out of there.
Wow.
So we have a long history here of being in solidarity with our
Maurice,
brothers and sisters in
tell me,
Congo.
do you have people over there that could help the Congolese people acquire some of the wealth?
Oh, absolutely. You have people who are organizing throughout the country, Lyndia. There are folks in the mining sector, folks in the rainforest, folks who are organizing, but they're up against some enormous forces. Like I just shared with you, $3 billion that's already been mobilized, right, to go invest there. So they're up against quite a bit, and that's why they reach out to us. People like you, people like me, others, to get their story out, to support them however we can, because the forces that they're up against global, major multinational corporations, billionaires. So it's not an easy go for them. And that's why they reach out to people throughout the globe to stand with them as they try to take control of their land, take control of their wealth, and really be the primary beneficiary of the gold and the diamonds and the copper and all that's there. So that's the effort that they're undertaking, and we said, okay, we're going to be in solidarity with you because you're in a strategic country in the heart of the African continent. And I think President Obama said it well. He said that he was talking about the Congo, and when he was senator, one of his main legislative achievements, I think there were about two, was on the Congo. He got a bill passed in the law on the Congo, and he said that he spoke of the Congo, and he said if Africa overall is to achieve its promise, resolving the problem of the Congo will be critical. So Congo is really the fulcrum on which the African continent swings. So if you get Congo straight, right? If you get Congo straight, then it increases your chances of getting all of Africa straight.
But
that's how vital it is.
We only have about another minute. Tell me, what can listeners do? Is there anything they can do to help?
Yes, I'll just tell them, go straight to freecongo.org, freecongo.org. When you go there, you can contribute to humanitarian efforts in the Congo. You can send letters to your members of Congress, and you can join the movement, sign up to be a part of the movement, to get involved, to take action. And
say that website, spell it, because I wasn't sure if I heard you.
Free Congo.
FREE. Okay.
Yes, freecongo.org. You go to freecongo.org and everything will be right there in terms if you want to learn more, you want to get involved. We encourage people to invite us on their shows like you've done, like Santita did. Invite us into their faith institutions, into their universities and their clubs, their sororities, fraternities, so that we can come in and share with you how important Congo is, not only to Congo, but to the entire African continent and really the African world.
And the last question, Maurice, you live here and Congo. Tell us a little bit in about 30 seconds how you can do both.
I'm quite a lot of places, India. I'm not in any one place. And because of the work that I do, I'm constantly in different parts of the world. I was just in Kenya, just in Qatar. So what I'm doing is going to different parts of the world. People are inviting us to different parts of the world to learn about the Congo, to mobilize support for people inside of the Congo. So we're constantly on the road. A crew of us, we're just in Brazil. Some of us are going to Colombia next. So we're on the road, on the move, mobilizing support for people in the heart of the African continent.
Well, I just want to let folks know I'm going to advertise when you're going to be on my podcast, hopefully in about a week. I'm starting this year, and you're going to be my first guest, and I'm looking forward to it so we can really get into some details and talk more about this. Thank you for being my guest today, Maurice Carney.
Thank you for inviting me. I really, really appreciate it, Lyndia.
All right. Thank you. Now we're going to close our show. We thank you for tuning in to our first show for 2026. That concludes the Lyndia Grant Show. Good day.
Thank you for listening to the Lyndia Grant Show. Think on these things with your host, Lyndia Grant.